Get this on the Triple M network.
With myself, Tony Martin.
No forgiveness.
We've got Ed Cavalier.
No remorse.
Pushing buttons, Richard Marsland.
No mercy.
And sitting in for this hour, Greg Sullivan.
How come?
Oh, hang on. That's what we've got for you, Greg.
I love the how come. Marto from the Brisbane Cage loves the how come as well.
Yeah, these are all clips from a show called Police 10-7, occasionally seen. I think it's in hibernation at the moment on the Crime Investigation Network, and it's largely drunken blokes in New Zealand.
And I'm very proud of my assault from that same guy.
Oh, do you want to give us that?
Assault! Assault!
Let's run a comparison.
Assault! Assault! You touched me, officer. Sorry.
Sorry. The politest criminals and cops in the world.
It'll take me another 6 months to get the you touch me officer.
Yeah, that's all right. It's all right. It's coming along nicely.
It's a work in progress.
Now, we've just moved time slots here, Greg, and obviously there's confusion. We don't like to confuse our listeners. That's not the intention of the program. But is there anything that perhaps people in Brisbane aren't following on this show?
No, I think people in Brisbane love this show.
There's a lot of, maybe too many references to Steven Seagal.
I won't hear that.
They should
People in Brisbane love Steven Seagal. Something that people in Brisbane love, it's a beefy man. We are the fattest, smokingest, drinkingest state in Australia.
Has that been verified, really?
I know, because it's stuck in my head. I thought, that's why I'm here. So I've just flown from wherever... From Brisbane to wherever we're broadcasting from today.
Well done.
I've just realised. Everyville.
Springfield.
Yeah, Springfield. It's different. It's nice. I like it here in Springfield.
So why are people stacking on and chuffing up so much up north? What's bringing that on?
It's just because the weather's so nice.
Is that what it is? I find that when you go to Perth, it's like you're just on holiday all the time. It just feels like being on holiday.
I don't know. We do love a drink.
Yeah.
Well, Bundaberg's so close to Brisbane, you
That's
see.
true.
Oh, yeah.
And
So you're just constantly thinking about it.
Yeah, all the time.
Really?
And you get sort of I don't know. It's a kind of a ball of. It's not a ball of the feet city, Brisbane. It's a heel of the foot city.
Okay.
If you're walking along on the heels of your feet and someone says, "Do you want a drink?" you're more likely to stop.
That's very true.
Because you've got less momentum.
Yeah.
If you're on the balls of your feet and someone says, "Do you want a drink?" you go, "Oh, I've got a meeting to get to. Don't worry about that. I've got to buy something and wear black."
I lived there in the Joh Bjelke-Petersen era, and in those days, one of the main streets had a line down the middle of the footpath, and people were meant to walk on one side of the line or the other.
Oh, no.
And you could be arrested for jaywalking, if you crossed over to the wrong side of the footpath.
Oh, no, it's woof.
Ever since that Four Corners, all that's history.
I moved to Brisbane in the mid-90s after I came from the country, so Brisbane was just big and exciting.
Wow. So because our friend Matt Dow not here today, he's from Gympie.
Yeah.
He was Mr. Gympie of radio, I think, 3 years running, broadcasting from his bedroom.
Wow.
So where do you come from?
I come from Dalby, which is like the Waco, Texas of Queensland.
Oh, Matt Dow would love to have come from Dalby.
Yeah, there's as you drive into Dalby, there's lots of signs about God and like a phone number because he's got a mobile now, apparently.
Yeah.
And terrible marketing initiative because you're not thinking about God and how cool he is on the way into Dalby. They need to turn those signs around.
No, you're thinking about low-hiss cassettes. That's what you're thinking about. Just off the wire, Britney Spears has lost custody of her children to K-Fed.
Oh, no!
I mean, how bad can things be when the judge is looking at the tramp in the dump master?
Apparently, if he's not fit, then it's Nick Nolte who's next in line. So that'll be great for the kiddies.
They said she was an unfit mother. Sure, she shouldn't have worn that outfit, but
she's still pretty fit.
She's not a porker by any means.
Not by any stretch.
No,
not by any stretch.
She's round yet firm.
Oh yeah. Hey?
Okay, don't get it started.
She's like a roast.
Ed finds the more downhill Britney goes, the more attracted he is to her.
I can't get enough.
Other news today, there's been a change to the plan to bomb Iran.
Mm-hmm.
I just
did you get that from?
Yeah, that's from page 36 of the Herald Sun in Melbourne.
You got that from Jason Bourne. He read that through a window.
Shane Bourne, actually.
Nay ho, I'm a dinner jacket. Coming for you.
I'm just hoping that the Melbourne Herald Sun isn't available in Tehran.
Absolutely right.
Because the cat's out of the bag here. I don't know how. I talked to my father-in-law, and he remembers like the Korean War and World War II, and I'm assuming the real difference between olden days war and modern warfare is all the plans weren't in your local paper.
Yeah, the faked up reasons were much more convincing in the old days.
They certainly were. Now, what's obsessing people in Brisbane at the moment? What's the flaming issue?
We're mad for tunnels.
Yeah.
And the traffic and Southerners moving to Brisbane and just ruining the place, basically.
Yeah. So you want them to come up, but just can you go home soon afterwards?
Yeah.
Please?
Our new slogan is "Give us your money and piss off." That's
nice.
Yeah. Spend up big and go away.
But listen to this. Joshua Incognito has emailed us to say from Cedar Vale. He says on the Sunday Mail, one of your papers, they're looking for a new name. Because everyone's sick of Brisvegas. Is that true?
And Brisneyland.
Yeah.
Brisbane.
Brisbane was fun for a while, but even that's becoming tiresome.
See, we ran a lot up the flagpole on the show last year.
Brisbekistan. I heard that. I like that. I thought that was very good.
Bristarctica for winter.
Not bad, yeah.
Brizzledorf, Mississippi, Brissachusetts, Brisbania, Brisbodia, Bristonia.
I like Bris York.
Bris York. How's that word?
Bris York.
Oh, that's
it's
good.
a hell of a
Not bad,
town.
yeah. Okay.
People drive around in a hole in the ground.
That's much better than Bristambul or Brisnia Herzegovina, which we came up with. Brisneapolis, Brisrail.
That's nice.
What about the simplicity of Brazil? I don't know.
That's not bad.
I don't know. Must try hard to get there. Okay, what other sort of, how are people coping with Lady Bly?
Yeah, well, no, she seems to be just as smooth as Peter Beattie. So
Yeah, nothing for comedy there.
no, just like if you do an interview with them, like you'll crack some scintillating sort of satirical gag, and they'll go, and that's all they do really, basically.
Laugh it off.
Yeah, they do, and everyone goes, yeah, he's got a sense of humour, or she.
Yeah,
has a sense of
see,
humour.
we were talking yesterday about how, people in comedy will really realise what a goldmine John Howard was when he's gone.
Yeah.
And I remember that when they lost Bielke.
Yeah,
Oh, really?
yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah,
People
I only just perfected my Bielke impersonation about 3 years ago.
Really?
So I'm a little slow on those things. But I'm distantly related to Jerry Connolly.
Oh, okay.
Who was he was the guy who did the Bielke thing, and
That's right.
and still does the Queen and all that. And,
Yeah.
very talented man. But he was my inspiration for getting into comedy, actually.
Sir Joe Bielke or Jerry Connolly?
Both, actually.
Both of them. But he was just a comedy machine, Sir Joe Bielke. Every time he opened his mouth, they're all the same, these different people. It was just,
Yeah.
the gems just dropped off.
Well, he was a bit like George W. in that he was funny. It was like, it's like doing the funny story from the paper instead of doing the serious story.
Yeah,
when
that's
you're
right.
when you're a comedian, it's just sort of like, well, what am I going to add to that? I mean, how does it get any better? Whereas
Yeah.
you get Howard, who's slightly ludicrous, not completely.
No.
Still kind of clever.
It leaves you some work to do.
Yeah.
But
And
once Sir Joe Bielke Peterson announced that he had 1 foot on the sticky paper, 1 foot on the slippery slope, and another one on the other side of the fence, you didn't really have to add water. All right, let's talk about something of interest to the nation. Oh, fun.
Well, school holidays, people are looking for stuff to do.
New theme parks. Just quickly, which are the existing ones we like?
Your Dream World.
Yes.
Your Wet and Wild, the finest in
Sure.
many people's opinion. Your Warner Brothers Movie World.
Yeah.
And am I forgetting anyone? Oh, SeaWorld.
SeaWorld.
Oh,
Yeah.
and the Outback Spectacular.
Oh, and the Outback Spectacular.
I grew up not far from the Outback. Well, I grew up in the country,
Yeah.
which is sort of near the bush.
It's
and,
cose.
And once you drive through the bush, you get to the Outback.
So
Absolutely.
you would be aware how harsh and realistic McLeod's Daughters is.
Well, the Outback Spectacular at no point has people getting drunk, shooting at things, and bashing people who look like me, which sort of interfered slightly with the realism. But I'm pretty sure this does. Does this show go to the Outback anywhere?
In
Reg.
if you've got a computer, it can go to the Outback.
Sorry
Yes.
if you're in the Outback.
We go to Osaka.
Yes, we do.
We're big in Osaka. We're a breakfast show in Osaka, we're told.
Oh, and the Aussie World on the way to the Sunshine
World.
Coast in
Aussie
Queensland.
World.
Yes.
Have you ever? You're driving along in Australia, and you drive past a theme park that offers you all of the delights of Australia.
Fantastic.
And you turn to your friend and you go, "Struth, mate, let's go to Aussie World and
All right,
check
Cobber.
it out.
No worries. Get me swag and we'll do it.
This Australia just isn't Aussie enough for
Yeah.
me.
And Aussie World
What do you
is
jumbucks reckon?
Aussie World is like Australia, only slightly more expensive.
Absolutely.
All right. Listeners, we want to hear your ideas for new theme parks.
G'day, Clinton.
Oh, mate, I think we should take the family down to Kappaland.
Oh, Capeland. Now, what would go on there?
Oh, well, just first of all, I thought, just imagine the merchandise. You got your Modesty football, the Meter Maid gear, you got the mayoral sash.
And what do you say when you get off the ride?
Yes. Thanks very much.
That's good. Or you might say...
All right, that's good stuff.
But you know the signs that say must be at least this high to...
Yes.
I don't want to even
No,
think of that.
that's, the kids are out of school, but we know what you're thinking. Yes, I think we've got... Have we got Warwick Kappa in a fight?
All right, that's good stuff.
That's how everything's right. Well then, beautiful work, Clinton. Who's next?
G'day, Dave.
I think we could try the theme park of erectile dysfunction.
Oh, the erectile dysfunction. There's the sound of it there. You're calling us from Narre Warren, I see.
Yes, in Melbourne.
Would that be a good location for the erectile dysfunction fun park?
Oh, no, it's getting pretty built up nowadays, guys.
Hey.
Pretty hard to find anywhere to live.
Hey, tell me, Dave, what would they have at this theme park, do you reckon?
Well, I don't know. I'm thinking like along the lines of you could have the Limp Willie ride, which when you obviously inject it, just gets a bit harder.
Fantastic.
Or you can actually, I've got another one you could put
Go
with
on.
that. You can actually have the slingshot ride, which is just basically a condom or a bungee jumper or something like that.
Just
I think that'd be terrific.
Good on you, Dave. You thought that
this-
through.
he thought it. Hey, can I just ask, Greg, up north, do they have on Triple M Brisbane the constant erectile dysfunction ads?
Yes, we do.
Thank
And
God, because if they didn't, this show would sound very odd.
Absolutely.
we live just down the road from Ugly Dave Gray. He lives on the coast. So, he could actually pop in and do one live. Rip out a live read.
What are you thinking from 10, 12, 1, 2 and 4 daily? Come on, kiddies. Dave's got his act.
I've worked with Ugly Dave, actually.
Really?
Doing stand-up. He's actually very good.
Did he finish any gags with, it's full of them in there?
Yes, he
Yeah,
did.
look, he's a very funny man. We had him on our radio show once, and he had us crying with laughter as he tried to explain the difference between celebrity squares and personality squares. He couldn't do it.
Dan, how are you?
I had straight to DVD world.
Good idea.
And who would be the logo for that?
It'd have to be Steven Seagal.
Steven Seagal, of
Bad
course it would.
idea.
So instead of like your Warner Brothers movie world, which celebrates, great works of cinema, like Police Academy, you'd have just a fun park based around films like Half Past Dead and Submerged.
Yep, basically.
Yeah.
The Jeff
And lots
Speakman.
of Thunderbox performances.
Oh, Thunderbox every day. And the Jeff Speakman Perfect Weapon ride would be amazing.
Thunderbox, for new listeners, is the name of Steven Seagal's band.
Fantastic news.
I'll just name it after an outside toilet.
They could have one of those. They could have one of those phone booths where you could go in and get photographed in the manner of Steven Seagal, just with the light box across the eyes.
Oh, yeah, so you
And
can't
nothing
see
else.
the hairline or the gut. We don't have time for one more, but let's have one anyway.
G'day, Matt. How are you?
Decently priced food theme park that costs less than the admission price.
That's a great idea.
It'll never work. So there's no rides. There's just standard fun park food at reasonable prices.
I know, it's hard to believe.
That is beautiful.
It's revolutionary. I once paid $18 for fish and chips. I did get sauce, though, so I had it coming.
Occasionally, the listeners will just get a petition together and say, Tony, can you stop talking about that so much? Happened with Rex Hunt. It happened with the film Short Bus. Now it's happening with a film that Ed made called Meat Pie. People are sick of me banging on about it, so I'm going to give it a break. But Greg Sullivan is here from the Brisbane cage up north.
Yeah.
And to make Ed feel better, have you got a similar story to tell?
I have something that tops meat pie. Yeah. I used to contribute jokes to the footy show.
Oh, which
Okay.
which one?
Which bits of drag did you write?
This is the NRL footy show.
Okay,
and better than that. And this is the topic. Get ready for the song, Richard, or the ads or whatever play. I used to contribute material to Mahatma Coat.
Oh, Mahatma Coat. Wow.
Yeah.
Now, is it
Me no Reiki before me no Reiki.
Now, is it true? Now, I don't know if this is a true story. It could be wrong. But I developed a new respect for, is it Greg Ritchie?
Yes.
Who plays it? Okay. There was,
Sheffield Shield man, Greg Ritchie.
okay. There was
Yeah.
remember a few years ago, there was an incident where he was drunk on a plane.
I've been with him on a plane when he was drunk.
Okay. What I heard about that, that really I thought was impressive was that he was drunk in a plane, but he stayed in character as Mahatma Coat for the
bad.
whole time. Then that's impressive.
That's method.
If you're doing your character.
I saw him fall over and break his ankle on ice skates as Mahatma Coat, and I'd like to say he stayed in character, but he reverted completely to Greg Ritchie as soon as the ankle snapped.
Okay, well, I don't know that that's a big... Having written for Mahatma Coat, I don't know if that's quite in the standards of Ed's film that I'm not going to mention anymore.
Can I say that not all of it got used?
What got knocked back?
I don't... Obviously, stuff that wasn't up to standard.
This is not racist enough, I think. Frank. Go back and add a few.
I tried hard.
Okay, now we have had a few complimentary letters about you, Ed. I'm trying to find them.
yeah.
I know I've got them somewhere.
Yeah.
But
The good thing about complimentary letters to me, Tone, normally people say, thanks, Mum, thanks, Dad. I can guarantee it's not from my family, so that's good news.
Well, okay, someone entered an art competition at school by drawing a picture of me based on our website.
Not bad.
That
With their ball sack?
Good. They didn't paint it with the BS for the kids getting out of school.
Very good.
But look, this person here, Jessica Krause, doesn't want you to wear moustaches anymore on the TV, Ed.
It's not mine.
You had a moustache the other night on
did.
Thank God You're Here, but it was a sort of a stringy.
It was pencil thin.
Yeah, but it wasn't the rakish
No,
cad.
it wasn't.
It was straggly at the ends. Go the cad if you're going to tash up.
Look, I don't choose the mustaches, Tone.
Yeah.
I just take the facial hair I get given, and I'm happy for
I
it.
think next time you re-sign, you should have a tash,
Tash clause. Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it. If
Only-
I was being seen, I would
Really?
demand mustache credibility.
So do you think John Law style I should have two guys in white coats come in with a box and a gold mustache placed on myself?
You've got, I see, you've bearded up, Greg.
Yes.
And have you been approached to run for the Greens? Sorry, I won't say that. But is there a lot of maintenance required in what you've got going there? Do you have a beard net at night?
I love beards. This is pretty small compared to how I would like it.
Oh, you've got
I would like to have the kind of beard where people say, "Where's the Harley Davidson?
Oh, not bad.
Where are the Huskies? Why is that man wandering around without his sled team?" That's the kind of beard that I would like.
Can you get it to the point where you can have birds nesting in it? That's really when you...
I would love that.
When you've got maximum beard effect, I think. Okay, we're talking beards. Yeah. I feel like we might be excluding people from the audience.
Ring us if you've got a beard. No, sorry.
That's tomorrow's show. Someone tried to assassinate our producer. That's what I'm leading to.
Unbelievable.
This occurred at an intersection out the front of Triple M in Melbourne, where she was yesterday. Turn on your mic, Nikki. Tell us what happened. You're sitting in your car at the intersection.
Yep, just waiting at the lights.
Yeah.
Listening to a bit of Flight of the Conchords.
Oh, very
good.
nice.
Good on you, Nikki.
Good to see Tim Rogers. Great.
Good job, yep.
And, yeah, a car came flying around towards me and sideswiped me.
Sideswiped you and didn't stop?
Didn't stop, kept going. They're doing at least 80, I reckon. And it was like a Dodgem car.
And
off
how-
the side of the car,
Hang on,
gone.
was it an actual Dodgem car, though? Or were they driving a real car?
I think they're in a real car.
Okay, good. That's a good thing to know straight away.
Okay, now, you didn't get a number, a
No.
license plate?
No.
Okay.
Did you spot the logo of any rival radio station on the offending vehicle?
There were stickers. There were definitely
Yeah, I bet
stickers.
there were stickers. I bet there were stickers.
Stickers.
Okay,
Did
so...
you get a look at the culprit, the driver?
No, I totally, it was so fast and then they were gone and, I turned around going, I better go and get their details. Did a U-turn to find them. Gone.
right.
See you later.
Gone.
And no one stopped to help you? I mean, you're a pregnant lady.
Yes, no. The traffic just continued on as though it hadn't happened.
Really?
Okay, so you've gone to the cops,
Called them.
and what have they done? They've contacted Chloe and got the schematics of every building in Melbourne.
Well, that's what I was hoping for.
Yeah, nothing. Because are there
No.
cameras at the intersection? Could they...
There's traffic cameras, surely.
Surely.
That's where world's wildest pole slammings get all their footage from.
It's in the Bourne Ultimatum. There's cameras everywhere.
Apparently.
Satellites.
I'll probably end up on TV before anyone contacts
Yeah,
me
you're
back.
right.
Okay,
Bob
so
Saget doing a voiceover.
is it time to put on the three investigators' hats today, guys?
Bag's the guy that works all the gadgets.
Bob Andrews.
That's him.
Records and Research. That makes me Jupiter Jones. Okay,
Check
we're
these
gonna
records.
see if we can do what the cops can't. Track down the culprit.
Well, I know someone who's done exactly this, Nikki, so it does work.
Yeah?
A girl I used to go out with.
Yeah, you used to. Is
Don't-
that a segment?
No, it's not a segment,
Is
Tony.
it something you said on the show?
No, it was before the
Was
show.
it a photo that appeared in the paper?
It was none of those
Okay,
things.
fine.
It ended very
Right.
amicably. We're still friends.
Sure,
It's only
okay.
a 2-hour show.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, Okay, anyway, this happened to her. Her car got hit out the front of her house,
Yeah.
and she noticed a little bit of flecks of red paint.
Oh, flecks of red paint.
Flecks of red paint. And so she thought, all right, I bet there's red cars around here that's got some damage. She
Yes,
drove
yep,
around,
yep.
and she thought she saw a car that had some damage. She followed it to the local high school, and she thought, hang on a second, there must be a student.
Yep.
So she went to the office, and she said, who drives that red car? And they told her, and she went and busted their ass.
And it was them?
It was them. It was actually Angela Lansbury I was dating, so there you have it. Busted.
Okay, so flecks of paint, Nikki. Are there flecks of paint on the side of your car?
Yes, blue.
Blue.
Oh,
Is it light blue or
okay.
dark blue?
Light blue.
Would you say
Light-
it was metallic?
Yes.
Okay, metallic blue.
And did it hit your car on its right side or its left
Yeah,
side?
so my driver's side to their driver's side.
Okay, now
So
Nikki
it's going to be damaged driver's side.
and Nikki drives a monster truck, so it's got to be quite a tall car as well.
So we're looking for a light blue car with damage on the driver's side sort of door area?
I reckon, the driver's side door down to the driver's passenger side.
Okay, everyone listening, if you spot a light blue car, go and check it. If it's next door neighbours, chance to dob them in. Time for some vigilante justice.
Fantastic. What do they win, Tone?
Dean Guyer's new album. No. Well, think of something good.
Okay, great.
And what do they do? Obviously,
You can't call the cops.
no, because
They've
they'll
got-
be inundated. I want the Dean Guyer CD.
Yeah,
officer.
listen, I've seen Steven Seagal's latest movie in that. Who is this?
So call Cecilia 13353.
Yeah.
And we'll corral all the information. And maybe
I'll put it in the database.
by the end of today's show, we'll see somebody finally in the Get This Wicker Man.
Oh.
Now, in Melbourne, who do you call? Do you call Vic Rhodes? Is that what they have? Vic Rhodes in Melbourne. Yeah.
Do-
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember one time I accidentally called Nick Rhodes. Ridiculous. Synthesizer player from Duran Duran at the side of the road.
Couldn't help you.
Trying to put some jumper leads. Ridiculous. Absurd.
Not in the pants, man. The pirate pants are getting all oily.
Don't call Nick Rhodes.
Apparently, the front runner at the moment, a lot of calls saying it was Wile E. Coyote on an Acme rocket. So thank you very much for that.
John has,
He has been after Nikki for a while.
John says the answer is obvious. It was Richard Marsland.
That's fair enough.
White-handing your producer. What colour is your car, Richard?
It's a green one.
Yeah, green.
It's hard to tell.
It's sort of greeny blue, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a strange one.
Yeah.
Cess is taking so many calls out there, though.
full
She's unlocking ciphers like Zodiac. You should see her. She's huddled over a desk.
What else is going on? While we're talking Marsland, people are very keen to find out how your impression of George Harrison is coming along. He's been promising it for
yeah.
months.
Great.
Yep. Well, George Harrison, it sort of dropped away because I was looking at some Peter Cundall grabs during the week. So Peter Cundall's coming along fine.
Yeah. Was he in the Beatles by any chance?
No, well, I think...
See the sixth Beatle?
He did some
Did all their
tambourine.
gardening?
How would Peter Cundall sing a Beatles song? There you go. There's one for you.
Love me do. How's that? Love me do.
Can't I just do one line?
Yeah, well, that's fine.
Give us a bit more. I'm the Walrus. A bit of
Yeah.
that.
I am the ape man. You are the egg man. I am the walrus. Okay.
Do the cuckoo
and now do Peter Cundall.
Give us a cuckoo. You can't do I'm the Walrus and not do cuckoo cuckoo.
Cuckoo, cuckoo.
Very nice. Okay.
Jeez,
I read
so bad.
today that Martin Scorsese, fresh from his triumph doing the Bob Dylan doco,
It's a good one.
is doing the George Harrison story.
I thought you were going to say the Peter Cundall story.
Well, he'll get to that.
Yeah. Wow. So George Harrison.
I'm thinking they'll need reenactments. You know, there'll be bits where he'll want to
So
reenact
true,
some of the.
course.
I think we might try and edit Richard Marsland into some Beatles documentaries that I've been sitting on.
Good on you, Tone.
There's some sizzle for later in the week. We've got Bludgers on the line from all points around the nation. Who's going first?
G'day, Matt.
G'day, how you going, boys?
Excellent. Talk us through your bludge.
I used to work for Ansett in the day, and every Sunday shift it used to kick off at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And first flight didn't come in till 8:30, so I'd pass the time by watching a bit of TV, having a bit of a nap, and then head home at 10 o'clock.
Fantastic.
Bludge.
That's a bludge.
Good on you, Matt. I wonder why they went on that. And tell me, Matt, what we think that we might have landed some of the couches from the Anset's departure lounge in our house because they're amazingly aqua. Did you nick anything on your way out?
No, unfortunately, I knocked off a bit of stuff before it crashed. But,
Good man.
Yeah.
I was unlucky, missed out.
That's great. I can feel a crash coming quick. Get as much stuff into the boot as you can. There's Bob Ansett as well.
G'day, Morgan. How are you?
Hi, love you both, love the show.
Thank you very much, and thank you for excluding Richard.
That's very good. Well
That's
done.
great. That's
Talk
great.
us through.
He's very handsome.
No, he's not.
Oh, now, what are you basing that on?
The bus stop advertisements for your show.
Oh, are you in Brisbane?
Yes.
Has anyone seen Bede, the one near you, Morgan?
Oh, not that I've seen.
Okay,
Yeah,
well,
well,
maybe
you'll
that's
be
something-
keeping an eye out now.
That's something to do. Kids, if you're listening. So, Morgan, talk us through your bludge.
Well, recently I was pregnant, and when you're pregnant, you get very tired, and my job was to read a lot of court briefs in my job, and I used to pretend to read them while actually leaning my head on my hand with my elbow on the desk. So it looked like I was working very hard, but I was actually sleeping.
Fantastic.
Oh, yes.
I often do that for the second hour of the show, Morgan.
There's whole episodes where you can actually hear that going on in here.
Works a treat.
The only problem was I thought I was getting away with it, and I thought I was very clever, but actually everybody knew what I was doing.
The snoring, the sleepwalking. All right.
Just get
Finally,
Morgan's
Will,
details.
how are you?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. Yourself?
Excellent. Talk us through your bludge.
Look, I'm a plumber, and so I go from, job to job, and one night after a big night on the gas on a Thursday night, came in Friday feeling pretty ordinary. Went into the yard, picked up my ute, and thought, I'm working near my house. I may as well go home, park myself on the couch for a couple of hours,
Good.
and get stuck into some fire down below Steven Seagal.
Oh, fire down below. That is a solid Aussie bludge.
Good on you, Will.
It was good to see an EPA agent with such CIA skills. It was just...
It's amazing, isn't it?
An EPA agent with CIA skills.
And it's
beautiful.
He leaves his
It's
carbon.
just great. I mean, name one thing that guy can't do, apart from time travel, but I reckon he's working on it.
He's working. He leaves his carbon footprint all over your face. All right. So, Will, what are you into, bro? Steven Seagal music or Caddyshack on VHS?
I'd actually prefer a hand-knitted sweater, but...
Okay.
Okay, Richard, we'll be getting to work on that right after the show.
Is a smock okay? All right.
Just part of our ongoing survey on this show, as a plumber, has the black economy got bigger or smaller since the introduction of the GST?
Oh, yeah, Cashies are great. Get them on the weekends, no one knows.
There it is.
See?
Sensational.
This is the research the government should be doing.
Yeah, the government, it's great. It comes up to you, goes, can you do this for us? And go, yeah, cash, mate, the foldable one. So, if you're a bit of a bogan, run straight to the pokies with them.
There you go.
Everyone's a winner.
It's amazing. We've only been on here for a couple of weeks. Already the mid-afternoon listenership are developing quite a fascination with our panel operator, Richard Marsland.
Blogs have gone crazy.
Strange. They should set their sights higher.
Facebook pages popping up all over.
Oh, I've got to get on there.
Community television switchboards lit up.
That's right.
Bananas.
And a lot of people impressed by your range of impressions. Which is your leading card in the impression caper?
Well, we've been working on Peter Cundall.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's proving to be difficult. Also, we've been playing around with Ringo Starr.
Yeah, Ringo Starr was abandoned months ago. Look at
You're
this.
doing amazing, Desmond Tutu.
Do an incredibly accurate Yngwie Malmsteen. But nobody knows what
Crack
he
out some Yngwie.
He needs a guitar. He needs a 12-string guitar for that. Look at this. These are all emails, dozens and dozens of emails from people saying, when is Richard going to do his George Harrison?
Oh, yes.
He's been promising. We worked out Paul McCartney was up there and John Lennon was back there. But where was George Harrison?
It's a mystery.
Okay, you promised you were going to do it on Monday's show.
Yep. So I've been watching some old YouTube videos and what have you.
Yeah.
Just been watching that Beatles anthology on DVD.
Yeah.
Over and over. Just trying to, get a handle on the George Harrison thing.
You were supposed to stay behind and not leave the station premises until you had laid down some George Harrison with Matty D.
Yeah, I know.
Now, he's told me to play this tape, but you're...
Well, I didn't.
What?
I haven't approved this.
Yeah.
Oh.
Matty said you got a bit drunk. And when Richard gets drunk, listeners, he might sound mild-mannered and South Australian.
Yeah, but when he gets drunk, he's like a footballer.
There's vomiting, there's ugliness.
Mad
there's
Monday.
Often off-mic New Zealand policemen for no reason berating him. So you've got a clip here of a Beatles documentary that apparently contains...
I didn't even know this was in here. You've labelled it, one of your sneaky labelling.
Oh, sneaky label.
A definitive George Harrison. Want to have a listen?
Yep.
Here it is.
It's undoubtedly Park Lane's week of the year. All the signs here that the expected arrivals are the Beatles coming to the Dorchester for the Variety Club show business luncheon.
Oh, look, it's me, George Harrison.
If you've got money, you don't expect to have to fight your way into the Dorchester. Unless you're so famous that you can't move your army of fans.
Get out of my way, you squealing trollops.
George and Paul, and of course Ringo and John, were safe at last, with Variety Club's British founder, C.J. Latter, Steptoe and Son.
Where's Blakey? Steptoe? You old
A few days before this event, Mr. Latter had received the CBE.
I'm free. Oh, you dirty mongrel.
For the moment, the big gathering of entertainment's VIPs concentrated on the lunch.
I'm George Harrison. bring me a crate of LSD, or I'll start playing the sitar.
Hope it didn't taste like the Mersey.
Get
Opposition leader Harold Wilson wasn't opposing anybody just now, just polishing up his wit for the benefit of everybody later on.
Hey, Wilson, here's one for you. Pull my finger. Sorry, I went early. I'm George Harrison. Coo ka chew.
Oh, you dirty mongrel!
Yellow matter custard.
That's meant to be George Harrison. It just sounded like you drunk, Richard.
How embarrassing. I didn't want to play that.
Chucking all over the mics.
It was undercooked.
Yeah, right. Get out of the way, you trollops.
Yeah, I gave that steptoe guy a bake as well.
You really did.
It's about time he's had it coming.
Those clips are from a fantastic documentary about the Beatles. And I didn't realise, I think the biggest audience they ever played, or the biggest crowd that ever met them, at the airport, was in Adelaide, where you're from, Richard.
That's true. John Martin's, the famous department store, no longer there in Adelaide, brought them to town.
Yeah.
And the biggest ever crowd, King William Street, was just chock-a-block with people.
Got a clip of that. Have a listen.
Perhaps surprisingly, their visit to Australia brought with it the biggest crowds they had yet experienced. It's estimated that when they visited Adelaide, 300,000 people, more than half the population of the city, turned out to welcome them. One 13-year-old was so enthusiastic she was found on the outside of the hotel, 8 floors up, trying to climb the wall to reach their sleeping quarters.
I'm Richard. You Beatles have funny hair. Paul is so the cutest. Do you think Dick York or Dick Sargent is better at being Darren on Bewitched? I can't choose.
Wow! That's actual footage of Richard Marsland.
Are you a Dick York man or a Dick Sargent man?
Definitely on the Dick Sargent camp.
Big
Back
time.
in the days when he was a 13-year-old girl. All right, do you reckon
You've
that's...
blossomed since then.
Thank you.
Will that stop the flood of emails, do you
The
reckon?
fine lady boy I see before me.
Look at this, Warney Doll. What do you make of that?
yeah.
The Booney Doll was a big hit.
That's right. And then the Beefy doll,
The beefy one, yeah.
which was Beefy both of them. And you can put them together. And they're quite creepy as well because they go all year round.
Oh, yeah.
And in fact, they can chime up at 4 o'clock
In the
in the
morning.
morning on some idle,
That would happen a lot. I'd be asleep in the room and from the living room I'd hear, "Where's me thongs?"
Not even during cricket season.
Booney's after me.
What does the Warney one say?
I think he says...
At 4 o'clock in the morning, what does he say?
He says there is absolutely no truth in that one. We're good friends and that's it. And also I apologise for any embarrassment this may have caused my family and my teammates. And whatever he says as well, the Simone Warne doll, immediately refutes. It's an amazing piece of merchandise. You can pick up.
Certainly is. Although I hear that the Warney... How long's it been out? Just a day?
I think it's just come out.
It's already been caught cheating. Been spotted with the Fosters, apparently.
Is that right?
That's what they're saying. And Jemima Khan, he's denying that was true.
Yeah.
I'd like to think it was true,
But she's
though.
hot. Why not, talk it up?
And she's sort of posh.
Yeah.
Imagine her out with her girlfriends. They're going, who are you dating now? You had that Hugh Grant.
Oh, he's quite, he's the fop, isn't he? No, I'm not dating him anymore.
There was that Imran Khan. He was...
Yeah, he's into politics now. He's a big wig in Lahore. No, I'm off him.
So who is it? Who is it, Jemima? Well... Have a look at this doll.
Oh!
Plonk down on the table.
David Boone?
That's it.
Oh, no, Shane
Sorry.
Warne.
That's the old one.
Oh, that's Shane Warne.
Wouldn't that be great, just showing your relatives? I know I was with Imran.
Yeah,
I was sort of the princess of whatever.
Princess of whatever
That's
time.
right, officially the princess of whatever. But now, Mum,
Wow.
check this out. Did Imran have one of these?
Nah, you got nothing. He's only got credibility.
You
Who
like
wants
Jemima,
that?
though? You like Jemima.
I'm all about Jemima.
Can't do.
Can do.
Oh, no.
Hey?
Tomorrow, keep the powder dry on the puns till Friday. You know how it works, Rich. Look at these photos. They're going, the last photos of Princess Di. It's just like the back of her head.
It could be anyone.
Does anyone really want to see that? Why is that on the front of the paper?
But they're having an inquest,
Yeah.
yeah?
Mm.
But why?
They're running all the conspiracy theories up the flagpole for one last time.
Yeah, but do nutbags get to go in and have their day in court and say what they think happened?
I'd like to think so. Just Dodie Fayed and a sort of coterie of nutbags
It's
from
just guys with colanders on their heads in suits.
YouTube.
When may I speak?
Somehow linking it to September 11.
Diana was killed by a goat with a machine that travels back in time.
Consult my blog for all the details.
Where are you pushing me?
We're finally going to have the results of that. Other news. Oh, what is going on with the song Up There, Kazali? There's some suggestion. This is obviously a big part of Victorian football culture, am I right? Doesn't go around the country, does it?
I heard it in Sydney when I was a youngster.
Yeah, okay. They're saying it's a bit old hat, needs to be retired. I'm trying to get the rights for Up There Scorsese. I'm going to do the film buffs version of that.
Up There Shillelagh.
Up There Halali.
Wow.
This
Quite
one.
good.
There we
Hey,
go.
that could make him more popular.
Up There Shillelagh.
Second run at it. See, if he had that.
In there and offend.
If that was coming out of the mosque every week, that'd win hearts. That'd build bridges. Alan Jones would be on board.
Yeah.
Up There Halali. We must get to work on that.
Not bad.
A new song for the AFL. What have we got on the file? Yeah, they won't be wanting that.
Well,
Okay, so time for the segment.
No, we're not allowed
There
to
was
do.
a guy asleep.
We can't do
is it-
Funky Junkies, as funny as they might be.
yes, and they're all over the AFL as well.
Yeah. And of course, the team in Burma are using that for Funky Johnson.
Yeah.
It's going to be very
Aye.
big. Are there any other big stories that we should be getting to before we get back to the many voices of Richard Marsland?
Well, there's a new one, a new story coming out about the Bible, which is the Word of God.
Yeah.
This is being brought up to date with a new service in Britain, and they're sending pieces of the Bible to people via text message.
Oh,
And also
okay.
you can get
Yeah.
like sort of biblical wallpaper,
All right.
biblical ringtones and what have you.
Ringtones?
Yeah.
Well, I don't remember many songs.
I don't know, hallelujah, something like that.
Was My Humps in Corinthians?
That's
It's the Crazy Frog version.
My
of-
Humps.
It's in the Old School Testament.
Shane Warne's gotten involved as well, actually.
has he?
He's teamed up with the Jehovah's Witnesses. First text is the front door's open beautiful. That's true. That's directly from England, so you got to just put that over there.
I love that.
Today,
We're talking job interviews.
job interviews gone horribly wrong. So why are we doing that?
Well, a news story from the Adelaide Advertiser says that most job seekers are still quizzed about their personal life in interviews, and more than a third believe they've been discriminated against because of their answers.
Oh, okay.
So we're asking people today, what have you been asked in an interview to do or say?
Yeah, okay.
It's a touch out of the ordinary. Maybe you didn't feel too comfortable about it at the
Oh,
time.
okay.
Can't see how it, related to the gig. I went for a job as a storeman at a major department store, which my duties, Tone, were to unload things from trucks, carry them to places, and get lost. Not stick around and talk to the girls on the counter.
Yes.
That was my gig. And I walked in, and a man in a bow tie and a little cap, I sat down, I said, "Oh, yeah, no, I'm really keen." He said, "I was lucky when I was young. Tell me a gag." And the only gag I could think of was this incredibly racist gag that my friend Mark had told me on the bus on the way in. So I told that. Got the job.
Got the gig.
Got the gig.
Fantastic.
He loved me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So racism does pay.
It does.
Is that the lesson of
Yeah,
today's show?
if you dishing it out.
All right, so that's odd behaviour during an interview. There wasn't really an interview for the job for this show, was there? I don't think.
No, there's such, Tone.
No. It was a very disastrous test program,
Yeah, thank God.
which was so disastrous you erased it. Because wouldn't that be great to play back now?
It would be good.
It would be good. Maybe we should recreate it one day.
That was clever.
I did this thing where I was directing this film and, someone said to me, a proper film director, said, you shouldn't...
Yahoo Serious?
Yeah. I was talking to the Y man. And he said, you shouldn't really audition actors and put them through that horrible process of auditions unless you've done it yourself.
Uh-huh.
And I realised I've never auditioned for anything. I just...
Never been to a Listerine audition?
Friends just keep me in work. That's basically how I get by.
It works.
So I thought, okay, I should do that. I should make myself go through that horrible business.
It's terrible.
So MDA.
Oh, yeah.
Remember MDA?
Yeah, Warney, the one Warney got all the gongs for.
That's right. Well, they asked me to go down and audition for a small part, and I didn't know what it was till I got there. Very fine actor, Teague Rook. Do you know him?
No.
He was in Crackerjack, I think. He was playing opposite me, and they went, okay, we want you to go for this part. Here's the dialogue. You're a pedophile. Whenever you're ready.
Do you have a trench coat? And
the thing is, you go, well, it's just going to be me, isn't it? I mean, there's not a pedophile voice that I can put on. I mean, put yourself in that situation. You're a pedophile. Action. Didn't get the part. Didn't get the part, which I guess I should take as a compliment.
I think so.
But that was an odd one.
Yeah, that's not the audition you want to walk in and everyone just puts their pens down and goes, "We found him.
Yeah.
We got him.
Now,
He's our man."
I feel like I want to name who got the part now, but I feel like I shouldn't. That
No,
would be
don't
unfair.
do it, don't.
It was someone who's been on this show, though. I should put
Oh,
that out.
really?
Yeah, no, let's not go down that
Great
path.
point.
And I don't think they liked it, because MDA, if you remember, it was lawyers and doctors combined.
Yeah, amazing.
MDA, fairly dull title. I don't think they liked it that I kept suggesting it should be retitled Diagnosis Guilty. I think that would have been a better name.
Yeah.
Diagnosis Guilty.
Diagnosis
Lawyers
colon.
And colon.
Diagnosis colon.
Yeah, it breaks the flow of the colon.
Yeah, it does.
Jesus,
Don't
Rich.
like it. Well, it's worked for CSI.
Stop trying to crowbar colon, whatever those things
You're
are. into it.
obsessed with colons,
Yeah.
Richard Marsland. It's often been said. Have you been in an odd job interview?
Well, now and again, they like to throw you the curveball. The curveball question to see how you go under pressure.
It's a bit of that, isn't that?
And also to see what kind of a character you are. So they'll ask you walk into a room and they'll say,
There's a flood.
yeah, there's a... It's Space Jump time. And I'll say, how many dollar coins do you reckon we can fit in this room? That one. Have you ever heard that one? That's just frustrating.
I find when you're waiting to go into the job interview and someone goes, okay, your world awaits. That's when you know it's going to be a tough
Something's
one.
up.
Oh, no, Vikings!
But I had an audition. This is audition interviews, the same sort of year 8, and they said, "Can you pretend to be a tree?" And I believe the tape might be floating around somewhere.
Oh, no way.
Because I ran into the person who taped it about 3 years ago, and I was a tree, but I thought I'm going to have a message here. It's going to be environmental like.
Yeah.
So the tree was chopped down by a logger.
Oh, you've never walked properly since. We've got to see that performance.
That was my audition.
brilliant.
Can we get a tape of that?
Well, I certainly don't have it.
How deciduous does it get?
Oh, it gets deciduous as.
A sapping performance.
Stop us now before we speak again.
Get this at the new time of 2 o'clock
Or in Adelaide, 3 o'clock.
on the Triple M network.